In the previous episodes, we started the GT3 story looking at the 996, then the 997 advancements. If you are buying a GT3 in 2026, then things get really interesting from here. In Part 9, we uncover what changed when the second generation of the 997 arrived. If you have missed the previous episode, stop here and go back. Understanding how we got here is important. If you haven't, then don't worry, as things get really interesting from here. Andreas Preuninger wasn't just involved in the GT program. He was its guiding force. The GT program started in 1999 with the launch of the first GT3. Andreas understood something very early. GT cars are more than just about lap times. The best GT cars should be defined by how they make a driver feel.
So this is the GT3 RS, our newest product in the 911 model range. It's the most racy 911 ever. I mean, just look at it. I mean, it looks racy. It is pure racing. It's as close to a cup race car as you can get on a street legal car. It's very light. It's a lot lighter than a normal 911. And that's why it feels absolutely like a race car.
This generation of 911 GT3 RS is something difficult to put into words. So let's get geeky and explain how we got here. When the 996 and early 997 GT3s were built, Porsche was still evolving. Recovering from 90s financial pressure, learning modern manufacturing, establishing the GT program. By the time the 997.2 was ready, Porsche was profitable, motorsport was fully funded, Weissach had confidence, and GT development was a success thanks to Andreas, who now had real authority. The single biggest upgrade moving from generations was the move from the 3.6-liter Mezger engine. It now used a 3.8-liter, still a Mezger engine, just a larger capacity. This took the power from 415 bhp to 435. Now this upgrade was important. Miss the rev window of the 3.6 and you lost momentum. The 3.8 wasn't a simple bored-out engine. It received a longer stroke, revised crankshaft, improved breathing, stronger internals, better cooling. This resulted in more torque across the mid-range. The car is stronger pulling out of corners, less reliance on perfect gear selection, a broader, more flexible power band. It still revved hard, but now it also pulled hard. On track, the 3.8 Mezger is a game changer. It lets you exit corners faster, reduces the need for constant downshifts, makes lap times more consistent. It made it more usable at full attack. Out of respect, I've included this clip from Porsche Experience TV, allowing the late Gordon Robertson, Chief Porsche Driving Consultant at Silverstone, to explain things in his own words.
This is the new 911 997 Generation 2 GT3. Porsche have tried to cater for all types of driver throughout the 911 range. The GT cars are very much more track focused. With roll cages, bucket seats, fireproof seats, the car's virtually ready for track use in its standard form. Very much more of an animal, very raw, very involving, makes a fantastic noise. Power is now up to 435 brake horsepower, projecting the car 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.1 seconds. Absolutely beautiful. For the first time, the GT3 is fitted with a version of Porsche Stability Management, although the intervention point is far later than on the standard cars, making it even more involving than the rest of the range. However, the system can be completely disabled for ultimate track day use. The balance in the car is phenomenal, very, very light at the front end, so it turns in absolutely beautifully. Getting the weight down on the nose, down into second gear, lightly back onto throttle, feeding that power in as we wind the steering off. Up to the 8,200 rev limit, keeping that power balanced all the way through. The car is just so precise, it does exactly what we tell it. Now entering the low friction handling circuit, a limestone composite surface, allowing us to focus on genuine car control. A big part of driving a GT car is having car control. I'm now going to disable stability control and traction control to allow me maximum control over the chassis of the car. On the way into the bend, getting the correct gear, getting the balance sorted out, lightly feeding in some power, steering into the direction of the slide, balancing the car all the way through. So easy and precise to hold in a slide. Using the concentric circle, it's an ideal opportunity to look at the true intervention point of stability control and traction control, and also to disable the systems and build up good old-fashioned car control. At the moment the system's off. If we lightly apply throttle to get the car sliding, we can hold the car out there, balancing the car in the slide, making full use of that 435 horsepower.
Thank you, Gordy. The track will never forget you. It became very clear to anyone who drove this latest generation that Porsche had got it right. From the 996 development, the lessons that had been learnt and the investment into the GT program was the perfect mix to make the best GT car ever. And with the development of the 3.8 is where the GT3 became complete. So is this the GT3 to buy in 2026? But what about the 991, the 992? And we have not looked at the 4-liter 997. The best GT3 to buy in 2026 is still unknown at this point in the series. In part 10, we continue. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe and give it a like.